record on my computer. So if you guys can mute yourself, if not, don't care really.
Right.
I don't know. I know I sent this to Rachel because she double ranked last month. So I want to, I know Jen, you're in MLM, like if you don't have this and you
Right.
didn't watch the training, I highly recommend it. I will be honest. I got this at Mini Summit from Katie and Monica, and it was literally in my Zaya bag ever since. Like,
Right.
didn't touch it. I had tons of other books that I had. I didn't pick it up until I met him through a virtual
Right.
training.
I totally get it.
So, so what I will say is that it's worth it. If you have Audible, you can get it on Audible. If you don't have Audible, it's free with a trial. I think I sent it to Rachel and Bailey, but for like $12. So if you don't have it, get it. It goes, if you don't know anything about it and you haven't seen the training, Debbie and Wendy are with Rodan and Fields. If you guys don't know anything about Rodan, they're just like a skincare MLM. They've grown over the last couple years, which is where Lindsay, my upline, came from and was very successful. And she wasn't even top 2% of the company. So Debbie started, right, and she has over 80,000 people under her right now. And then her sister joined her shortly after, and she has 65,000. So collectively, they're well over making, collectively, I think they said $25 million in 6 years. So I know that sounds really, really crazy, but it is like with the growth that I've had, and that's why I wanted to come to you, talked about numbers, because technically I cannot, what I'm doing in that group is kind of against policy. We're not able to post about numbers or whatever. I don't publicly post them. I just trust that my team won't ever screenshot stuff and send it out. That's why we're not supposed to even post it in there. But what I will say is that what they say in this book is very true. Like when I read this, I'm like, I feel like I'm writing this book because it's just very simple. And, I say this a lot, not everything works for a lot of people, but it's literally like shampoo, rinse, repeat. It's not anything special. Am I okay on internet? It says I'm unstable, so I want to make sure I'm okay.
You froze for me once, but you're back now. So.
Okay. So just kind of wave at me if I freeze. But I want to read a part of this. Obviously, my faith is very private to me. I don't really talk about it very much. But what I will say is there's a scripture in here, and I put it in one of my social media posts, that whatever you do, work at it with all your heart as if you're working for the Lord. I truly believe that, and Taylor will know this, like hard work and a good attitude is the foundation in which I build any team. I build my kids. I praise those two things because those are controllable. And you'll hear that a lot. A lot of people live by that. So hard work is obviously very subjective from me to you. But I really, truly believe that hard work creates success. I also really loved a story in here. I know, you guys probably have heard of it. Let me see if I can find it. I thought I bookmarked it, but it's The Old Man and the Flood. Has anybody heard of that? And I'll kind of read it because I feel like this is a story you can share with any prospect. You can share it with anybody you feel like would be a great fit for your team, but it's very true of how Zaya came into my life. So it says, the rain is pouring down. There's a big storm. There's flooding everywhere, and an old man is trapped in his house by rising water, and he prays for God to save him. A neighbor rows by in a canoe and says, "Get in, I'll take you to safety." The old man refuses. "God will save me," he says. The flood waters rise. The man is forced up to the top floor of his house. A motorboat comes by, and the captain calls out, "Get in, old man, I'm here to save you." The old man then replies, "Thank you, but I'm waiting for God to save me." Finally, the water gets so high, the man has to climb out onto his roof. The helicopter flies over him, dangling with a rope, and a voice shouts, grab a hold, but again he refuses. "God will save me." Moments later, he drowns. When he goes to heaven, first thing he asks God is, "Why didn't you save me?" And God said, "I sent a canoe, a motorboat, and a helicopter. What else do you want?" And I think that this is very true for me because I joined Zaya part-time, right? Lindsay had contacted me, literally sent me a mass text. It was obviously to not just me, but to other people. And all I saw was activewear. And I said, tell me more, right? I signed up 9 days after she did, and I worked this part-time. Now, when I talk to people about paychecks, because that's important, right? You need to know what the fruit of your labor will be. I would tell people the truth. Like my paychecks range anywhere from $300 to $1,000, depending on what I could do. Now, I was working in small pockets of time by then because I was taking kids to school. I was going to school. I was completing my master's. I had the program. I was recruiting. I was taking my kids places. I was helping Chris with the business. It was absolute madness. Like when you talk small pockets of time, it's like I'm taking a crap. That's what it is, you know, or I'm on the way to somewhere and I'm voice noting people. So small pockets of time were different than they are now. But what I will say now is that a year has gone by and part-time, I've diligently and consistently worked my business part-time, very, very small efforts, but very big efforts inside the small pockets. And now I can safely say I'm trending to make over $60,000 in 1 year. That's full-time for me. You know, and I know I don't like love talking about money or whatever, but what I would say is, you know, as a collegiate coach, I put in like more than 40 hours a week and I was safely bringing home 40, you know, on top of in a whole year at Zaya, I brought in $12,000. Now, to somebody doing that part-time, that changes their life. That gives them more groceries, that gives them soccer gear for their kids, that allows them to do a lot of things. $12,000 is a lot of money in a course of over a year. Now that's gross, right? That's not net. So what I would say is that I consistently every single day touch my business, whether it was building my community, whether it was doing reach outs, whether it was doing all those behaviors, right? But my job here wasn't seamless. Like I would do my Zaya, I would go and be a mom, you know, and then I would put on another hat and I would go and be a soccer coach. Like my behaviors weren't seamless maybe until January. So for right now, I'm pretty even Steven. I'm pretty seamless. Like whatever I do here, I do as a mom. Whatever I do here, I do, you know, as a recruiter or whatever. Like it's pretty seamless. So what I would tell you is when you reach out to people, you need to know exactly how I can change their life. Like in a lot of times we sell the business short. We say, you know, why don't you just join for a discount? Well, guess what? They will do just that. They will join and potentially buy here and there. But, you know, we need to also coach our discount reps and saying, you know, let's build a link. Let's have other people buy so you can use that discount. Let's give me 1 month. And that's what I tell my reps moving forward that are interested in discount. I say, give me 1 month. Let me get you to 1,000. Let me expose you to my company. Let me expose you to my team. Let me expose you to some training. And then you can decide if you want to be a discount rep or not. Like, you know, I truly believe that this business can change your life. Now, like just by reading and following the Cotter sisters on social media, like what they write to be is to be true. Like they were in a financial stress. Not that that's where I was, but I've always never been comfortable with saying, you know, I'm going to be a stay-at-home mom. And I am just that at default, right? But I'm building a business here that can make me very, very high and very successful. One thing that I've really kind of put into perspective is that I can't rank every single month. I can't, you know, but what I can do is I can have a bigger paycheck. You know, I can do those things. Just because I'm putting a lot more of my time into development and to you guys does not mean that I stop working, does not mean that I stop doing parties, does not mean that I stop working my VI community, because those behaviors are, remember, those are seamless behaviors. Like I want to put my VIP group, whether they're team members or not, I want to put them in gear because I truly believe that's life changing. I also truly believe in word of mouth, right? Like, and Jen will know this too. Like if I buy something, like I bought these underwear thongs, like I'm not getting paid for that. I'm not getting paid to share that information. Now, would I love to you know, share and have people buy my thongs? Yeah. But I need my group. I need you guys. I need the community. I need people to see the authenticity of why I'm sharing product. So, and that's what you'll read about in this book is like they were doing nothing but sharing, and people can see that excitement. So that's why when I do trainings on prospecting and stuff, I am 100% a believer to get people on the phone. I am 100% a believer to share the opportunity in the business before you share leggings and a party and whatnot. So if you don't have this book, it's amazing. I'm only like a couple ways through it. My friend Amy actually finished it in the Audible on a run. I'm not running anywhere long enough for that to happen. So I highly suggest this. And what I will challenge you to do is after the call, I'll pick a name and I will be giving another one of these away. So Rachel, if I choose you, you'll win another prize. But this book is amazing. And I truly believe that it will help literally drive your sales and excite you for your business. And not because it's anything like, oh, I didn't think of that. It's because it's very simple and it's very true. So when you do reach out to people about your business, they need to understand that, and what they talked about on the training is they had a girl at Rodan, and what they said is she used to put out this buffet, right? She'd have these in-home parties with all this product. She's put out a buffet and, buy all this stuff for their people to come over. And while that was great, she got a lot of great sales and got a lot of great clients. Like what she needed her people on her team to understand is you don't have to put out a buffet. And that's what I tell my people that join. You don't have to have every item in the catalog or every item that comes out on a Wednesday. Now, is that part of our self-addiction? 100%. We joined this company because we love activewear. But like I was telling Bailey, when I first joined, I'll tell you this, even in January, so almost a year later, right, we launched Leopards. And I told myself, I am not buying anything in January. I'm not buying one item. I have enough stuff. Every Wednesday, new stuff comes out. I'm not doing it, right? Well, that shit sold out, right? Leopards were like hot market. You couldn't even get that shit on the black market. So literally, I was like, damn it, why did I tell myself not to buy stuff in January? So, and I think the same thing. When the website starts acting crazy and I can't get stuff, I just tell myself like, if I need it and I'm able to get it, I would get it at a later date. So, and I did. I ordered all the new stuff on Thursday. So transitioning to that, the book is awesome. Read it. I know sometimes you feel like, and that's part of my aspiration too, my intentions too, is I schedule time to read, because you get towards the end of the day and you're like, I ain't reading shit, or you get up in the morning and you want to work out. You're like, I'm not reading. I feel like I should be doing something. So I write down times where I can read. I highlight in here. I write down notes. I'm seriously, and I'm coming up with, Jen and I are working on, I'm incorporating a lot of stuff in nutrition. And Jamie, I'll probably talk to you about the fitness session part of it, but in July, I'm putting together a series that kind of brings us back to basics, and it makes who we are seamless in and out of our business. So it'll focus on the business, like a challenge for the business per week, to challenge you nutritionally, and it'll challenge you as a fitness. And that might be fitness physically or physically mindset. And so, I'll make a graphic, and for you guys, we'll have prizes, and it's something that you also can share with your community. Just because they don't work in the Zaya business, they can do challenges too. They can network, they can build their business or whatever they do, or they can be curious to being part of yours. So it'll definitely help you grow yourself, and it'll help you grow your VIP community and your business. So that's what I have for July. It's a July training series. But what I want to share for you today is I went all the way back to December, and what I will find, what you think will funny is this, when I share my screen and we talk about numbers, is in December of 2019, I had 21 people on my team. So if you fast forward to that now, I have over 150 people on my team. So when I came back from Summit, and it was all four of us, right? It was Lindsay, Kelly, Candace, and me, right? All four ranked up directors, executives, executives, all at the same time in April. So that was very magical, right? That's like a dream. Like you only wish to be able to rank with your teammates, especially your immediate downline and upline. But what I try to do is I try to replicate those feelings and emotions for myself every single day. So what I got from Summit, Mini Summit, I try to replicate that for you and the team. by getting these calls, by giving you guys these trainings. And although it might sound like tedious and every week you're like, man, another call, Rachel will also tell you the more engaged that you are, the bigger your business, the more growth that you have because you're engaged. You know what I mean? You're listening, you're trying, and you're there. You know, there's very few people inside of my team that are engaged that don't see success. Now, are they talented in other ways in recruitment or sales? Yeah, probably. Like Jamie's VIP group is phenomenal. It's like a dream group, you know? But what I will tell you is, and a lot of people do this, Jamie didn't just freaking throw up magic pixie dust and that group just came out of nowhere. You know, she did some work previous to that. Same thing with Amy. That girl has 50 parties a week. And so, and even Bailey on this call, like she does the work. This shit isn't just magic pixie dust. You know what I mean? There is lots of numbers in going live. There's lots of numbers and just asking for sales. There's a lot of pieces of our behaviors of our work that we can do to drive us to the next level. So what I will do is I'm going to share my screen with you, and you guys can't laugh because who knows what you'll see. But okay, so you'll see, look at that. 21 people are my downline, right? And what I want to show you is real talk, right? I always look at this. I look at my personal volume history, right? So if we go all the way down here, I started in December of 18, okay? That's what I did in my first month. That was 2 weeks, all right? That was probably me saying, hey, it's Christmas time. Do you want to buy some? These are my family and friends, right? That's my warm market. So my check was probably, you guys can do the math, right? January, I did a little more, right? And then here comes February. Well, guess what launched in February? A trip. So I said, fuck that, I'm earning that trip. You know what I mean? So not only did I do pretty well in sales, I think $5,000 is pretty nice, right? Like to me now, some people in our team, it sounds like chump change. But I also had 3 recruits. So my goal always and forever has always been 3 people, $2,500. Okay. Even though sometimes in my goal tracker, I write down 5,000, that's my goal. So if you scroll through here, right, I'm looking at recruitment now, you'll see that I didn't recruit anybody August, September, November. What I find funny about November is there was a $1,000 bonus and I tried real freaking hard to get that $1,000. Like $1,000 for me for Christmas time, that's no joke, right? That covers my kids. I don't know about Chris, but it covers my kids, right? But look what happened. I did all that work and I killed it in December. So recruitment wise, what you have to know is sometimes, and I tell Rachel this a lot, you know, you get discouraged because you're reaching out to literally 100 people. And in that book, you know, that's what she tells people when they onboard. You're going to need to reach out to 100 people in your first month. And the girl said, I can't. I'm going to reach out to 200, and that's safe. And then you can kind of see like it goes through, it goes through the rest. So like May and April were my best months at 7. Now, I do look at that because honestly, for me to you, I'm doing nothing different now that I wasn't doing in February 2019. The only thing that I think that I can really pinpoint to that success is consistency and success. I'm posting success about my team. I'm posting success about my company. I'm posting success about, literally, there are people out there that have FOMO. Like if their mom and their dad are doing it, they want to do it, you know? And I have a lot of people that join me, and I know Leanne and I talk about this, and I'm like, man, you know, I'm trying so hard and I can't get anyone to join my team. It was hard for me in January and December, not because I wasn't trying, because it was so new. No one knew about it. So that's also a factor that you have to take into play. So like where Bailey is, there might be some people, but it's still new, it's still fresh. When they start to really be addicted, they're like, hey, I'm an idiot. Let's just join. This is, you know. And same thing with Jamie, you know, it was kind of like that grind, and then magically people are coming and flocking. So they either love the brand, they want to make a little extra money, or they have FOMO, right? People have FOMO. So I look at numbers, and then I relate those to behaviors. And I did this a lot in sales, right? So if I had, you know, I used to be a manager at a cell phone corporation, right? And we coached people to get better numbers, right? Better numbers, more paycheck, same thing here. The first thing that I would look at was their numbers. Like, okay, your accessories per phone sucks. Like, you need to be at $100, right? Well, if you know anything about a cell phone case is probably $30, right? Well, that's the basics. Everybody wants a protected case. So you look at behaviors. Are they offering? Are they looking at sales? Like the sales whole process, you know, and that's kind of like what I do. I look at parties. Like if my parties are at 200, am I promoting an outfit or am I promoting leggings? Am I promoting joggers? I never really promote shorts because they're only $50. I'll have to sell twice as many shorts as I, you know, give me a minute, I'll play with you. Twice as many shorts than I would leggings, right? So use the numbers and use this to kind of drive behaviors and sales. I need you to use your quiet voice, please.
Mommy.
Yeah.
Mommy.
We'll go in there and find them. All right, so then now if you're looking at your team, right? If you're looking at a team, I wanted to kind of show you one more thing. Hold on.
Mommy.
Okay, good job.
Oh, I got the person was good.
I forget where it is. Give me a second. Let me look through this real quick. Okay. Did you not just see party count? Did that just disappear? That's what I'm really looking for is party count. I might have to get back to you on that because that's not happening.
Mommy, can you call me right now?
In a minute, baby. Okay, so I guess it used to be a column over here with party count. So if you have someone on your team who's struggling with sales, that's the first thing. You can even ask them. That's the first thing, and I know Amy will probably attest to this. That's the first thing I ask. How many parties do you have? Now, a couple months ago, before I even went to Summit, I probably do 3 to 4 parties, maybe 6 tops a month, right? The best people at the top are doing 3 to 4 parties a week, okay?
And we got 2.
I always do lots of online parties, maybe even like 8 a month because you have to be quiet, baby. Because I know some of those parties are going to be duds. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. So I'm always driving parties. Set it up. So I always look at party count, and you can go back and do an average. Yeah, you push it down. I have like Baylor wants to play like some game here. I'm like, oh, perfect timing. Anyway, so when you go through here, this is what I use for ranking. So I use personal volume by level. So obviously, you know what, your level 1 to be a junior rep has to be 600, and you have to have a lifetime. So when I do use lifetime,
got 2 50s.
okay, get 5 more. Whenever I go to lifetime, that's what I use. So when I'm looking at Jamie and Amy's lifetime qualified, I look at qualified volume. That's what you use for rank. So it has to be 10,000 to be a director. It has to be 15,000 to be a senior director. Those are the things that I'm using to use for qualified volume. Now, does that mean it's what you're paid on? No. Thank you. Does anybody have any questions so far about like numbers? I know it kind of gets kind of crazy. Nobody. Play shark bite over here on the side while I talk to you guys. So that's kind of how I use numbers. Now, whenever I was talking to like Amy and Jamie about like your trend. So how do you find your trend? Okay, so let's just use Anna, for instance. Okay, so if I used Anna and I used her trend, right? So let's just say 681. So I take 681, I divide that by 16 days, and then I multiply that by 30, or how many days are left in a month. That tells me what their trend is. So right now, my trend is anywhere, literally, depending on restocks and days. Like, and it used to be, back in the day when we had in-homes, it used to be when I knew someone had an in-home party, that's when sales numbers would drive. But now that we're basically doing everything online, restocks and new release days really drive our business. That's where I see the biggest jumps. So anytime we dip below 100,000 as a trend, I don't really like sweat that a whole lot, just because I know that restock days we could do anywhere between $5,000 and $10,000 as a group. Okay, but that's kind of where you find your trend, and then I kind of go back and I look at that. Now I know that I can't have the more
But,
sales and more
Mommy,
sales and more
Mommy,
sales
let's
every month.
play.
I know that
Wait,
myself.
Mommy, let's play.
But I do know that as a
Mommy.
group, I should be able to do more volume every single month because I'm adding people for doing it right. Okay. So what I do is you probably know it. I wake up every morning and I look at numbers, and what I've started to do is I start to write it down every single day. And if you have a team, it's awesome to compare. So every day on my planner, I write down our group number and I write down how many people we have. Now, sometimes for me, projection is hard because we're just smashing it out of the water or whatever. They do say that whenever you can get around 100 people, that's when growth just starts happening. It's literally out of control. I had a plan or a goal of how many people we wanted to add as a group, but comparing it to other groups, like I have a girl on my team,
Oh, no.
Sister Line, and she has 60 people in her group, and she's trending the same group volume as me. I have 115 people in my group, and I'm in the same group volume as her. So really, like numbers wise, what that tells me is that she has she has less people, but they're doing a bigger quantity of work, and we have more people and we have less quantity of work. Does that make sense as far as numbers go? So that's kind of how I use numbers to kind of drive my business.
So
I'm frozen.
that's it. Mommy.
I think I'm frozen. Hold on, baby.